Welcome to the Oregon Department of Education Child Nutrition Program's training series, Summer Food Service Program Basics. This training is on staff training requirements for sponsors. After sponsors are approved to operate the Summer Food Service Program, they must operate the program in compliance with federal regulations, Summer Food Service Program instructions, circulars, and guidance materials, as well as applicable state and local laws. This session will cover specific sponsor requirements for staff training for the Designated Food Program Coordinator as listed in CNP Web, the sponsor's administrative staff, monitoring personnel, and site staff. In addition to staff training being a SFSP requirement for all sponsors, there are also benefits for sponsors to develop a robust staff training plan. Sponsors providing staff training on the SFSP requirements will help ensure a smoothly operated program, that monitoring, site, and administrative personnel are performing their duties according to program regulations, that meals served will be eligible for reimbursement, that adequate and accurate records are available to document the cost of meals claimed, that sponsors will see improvements in site program quality, and that benefits to participating children are maximized. Training is enhanced when good communications are established with the in-office staff members, monitors, and site staff. ODE CNP provides annual training for Summer Food Service Program sponsors. The person listed as the sponsor's food program coordinator in CNP Web is required to complete ODE CNP training. Additionally, sponsors must annually train all administrative staff, monitor staff, and site staff before they undertake their responsibilities. The date the training occurred, name of attendees, and documentation of the topics covered must be recorded for each training session conducted. See the training checklist in the USDA Administrative Guide for sponsors for a complete list of training topics for the administrative, monitor, and site staff training sessions. This guidance manual is located on the ODE CNP SFSP webpage and listed on the resource slide at the end of this presentation. Staff training documentation must include the date the training occurred, names of attendees, including their signatures, the topics covered during the training. There are 3 SFSP training checklists in the USDA Administrative Guidance Manual for sponsors. These include 1 for administrative staff, 1 for monitors, and 1 for site staff. This guidance manual is located in the ODE CNP SFSP webpage, which is listed on the resource slide at the end of this presentation. The specific training needs of the sponsor administrative staff will vary by type of organization. Sponsors who have multiple sites may have administrative staff with varying SFSP duties and responsibilities. Sponsors personnel helping to administer the SFSP at the sponsor level may include the office staff such as assistants, clerks, bookkeepers, and secretaries, area supervisors, and monitors. Sponsors operating a single site may only have 1 or 2 persons responsible for administering all aspects of the program. Specific areas of the training may require greater depth with different employees. For example, the staff responsible for site monitoring require in-depth knowledge of SFSP site operations, meal pattern requirements, record keeping, and conducting site monitoring visits and reviews with follow-up as necessary. Whereas staff responsible for only the meal preparation and meal service require a knowledge of the SFSP meal pattern requirements and record keeping associated with receiving, preparing, and completing the point of service meal counts. Training for administrative staff should cover the topics listed in the outline provided in the training checklist in the USDA Administrative Guidance Manual. Begin with a general explanation of the program, emphasizing the following topics: the purpose for the program, site eligibility, the record-keeping requirements, the organized site activity, if applicable, the meal requirements, and the non-discrimination compliance. ODE CNP has provided a separate training on general overview of the SFSP, which can be used in the sponsored training of their staff. During the training, describe the specific details regarding how the program will operate in the sponsor's organization. We recommend using the forms that staff will use to operate the program. For example, the planned menu, sample delivery receipts, and sample daily reporting forms for sites, including the discussion, how meals will be provided, the delivery schedule, if applicable, and what records are kept and what forms are used. In training, monitors provide an overview of the specific duties of monitors, including conducting site visits or reviews, listing sites for which they are responsible, the monitoring schedule, the reporting procedure, the follow-up procedure, and office procedures as applicable. This could include use of the monitor review form, visit review, and mileage log. Well-trained monitors who are knowledgeable in program requirements and duties will provide meaningful feedback to sponsors. Therefore, monitors should be present at both the site and administrative training to ensure a comprehensive understanding of program operations at both levels. Since the monitoring function is so important to proper program operations and receiving a full reimbursement, sponsors should conduct separate training sessions for monitors that highlight their specific roles and duties. A separate training session is provided by ODE CNP on SFSP monitor training requirements. The training of monitors should outline the specific duties of monitors, including sites for which they will be responsible, conducting site visits, reviews, monitoring schedules, reporting and record-keeping procedures, follow-up procedures, office procedures, local sanitation and health laws, civil rights requirements, reporting of racial and ethnic data, and considerations for personal safety if necessary. Remember, the training checklist for monitors can be found in the USDA Administrative Guidance Manual on ODE CMP's public website. Materials to use when training monitors includes pre-operational visit form for any site which did not operate the SFSP last year, site visit form called the first 2-week visit form and site review forms, the monitor mileage log, ethnic and racial data form, and the USDA's monitor guide. Sample forms are found on the ODE CNP SFSP webpage, as well as the USDA Administrative Guidance for Sponsors Manual at the end of the guide. SFSP regulations require that no food service site may operate until personnel at the site have attended at least one of the sponsor's training sessions. This is an annual requirement. Sponsors must document the attendance at site training sessions and schedule additional sessions for those that are absent. Regulations also require that at least one person who has been trained by the sponsor be present at each of the sponsor's sites during the time of the meal service. This means that if a site supervisor who has attended the sponsor's training session resigns during the summer, the sponsor is responsible for ensuring that the new site supervisor receives all necessary training before taking charge of the site. At a minimum, sponsors should be certain that they cover the following topics in the training session for site personnel. Begin with general explanation of the program, purpose of the program, site eligibility, necessity for accurate records, and importance of organized activities at sites, which are optional but recommended. Describe how the site will operate. Discuss types of meals, meal pattern requirements, and adjusting the number of daily meals. Discuss procedures for sites obtaining meals from food service management companies, other commercial meal vendors, or if the site is self-preparation, the sponsor's central kitchen as appropriate. Discuss delivery schedules and who to contact regarding problems. Explain the daily record-keeping requirements, including daily point of service, POS meal count, any second meal served, leftover meals and spoiled meals, delivery receipts and/or a daily menu for all meal types served. We recommend providing sample forms as appropriate. Daily labor records, recording the actual time spent on food service and time and attendance records. Outline the monitor's responsibilities using monitoring forms for site visit and review forms. Discuss the monitor's duty and authority and areas of assignment, as well as introduction to site supervisors as needed. Additionally, explain civil rights requirements, including racial and ethnic data. ODE CNP has provided separate trainings on civil rights requirements and racial and ethnic data. Additionally, it's important to explain policies specific to the sponsor, which includes inclement weather and alternate service areas, problems with unauthorized adults eating program meals, problems with discipline, use of equipment, facilities, and materials available for organized recreational activities, trash removal, implementing any corrective action, and nutrition education. The training checklist for site staff is located in the USDA Administrative Guidance for Sponsors. It provides a complete list of the training topics for the site staff. Materials to use in training site staff include a copy of the planned menus, inventory or delivery forms, monitoring forms, the site supervisor's guide, and any applicable sponsors' policies. Sample forms are found in the USDA Administrative Guidance for Sponsors at the end of the Monitor's Guide. It is critical that site personnel and monitors understand the importance of accurate daily point-of-service meal counts. Only complete meals served to eligible children can be claimed for reimbursement. Therefore, meals must be counted at the actual point of service. Meals are counted as they are served. A child's meal is counted by marking off the appropriate number on the meal count form when the child has picked up the complete reimbursable meal. Meal counts are not done by counting leftover meals, trays, or by marking the meal count record after several children have gone through the line. Counting meals at the point of service allows site personnel to ensure that only complete meals are claimed for reimbursement. Therefore, only site personnel who have been trained in point of service meal counts may sign the daily meal count records. A sample daily meal count form and the USDA SFSP Administrative Guidance for Sponsors. This form also provides guidance on calculating reimbursable second meals. In summary, this session has covered the training requirements for the sponsor's food program coordinator and the sponsor SFSP staff, including administrative personnel, site monitors, and site staff. The following USDA SFSP guidance materials are available to assist sponsors with program implementation: Administrative Guidance for Sponsors, Monitor's Guide, Site Supervisor's Guide, Nutrition Guidance for Sponsors, Food Buying Guide, and the Food Buying Calculator. An in-depth discussion of training requirements is located in the USDA SFSP Administrative Guidance for Sponsors. Sponsors are encouraged to review this guidance to ensure staff are adequately trained regarding USDA Summer Food Service Program regulations and requirements. The webpage links to both the USDA SFSP Guidance Handbooks and the USDA Food Buying Guide are listed on this slide for your convenience. If you have any questions regarding this session, please contact your assigned specialist. You may see who your organization's assigned specialist is by logging into CNP Web for SFSP. The assigned specialist assigned to your organization will be listed there. ODE supports equity and excellence for every learner and seeks to work with school districts, education service districts, and community partners like you. We believe all children should have access to a high-quality, well-rounded learning experience. For ODE's full equity statement, check out the ODE equity page linked in the description section below. This institution is an equal opportunity provider. Thank you for viewing this training.